to this particular system. This storm is going to bring widespread rain across much of Newfoundland. Most of the province will be in the warm sector, but the western shores, the most northern shores, getting into some fairly significant snowfall. We've got all kinds of warnings still in place for the maritime provinces. Winter storm warnings will indicate that you'll see a messy mix, likely ice pellets and some rain, freezing rain as well, especially along those southern shores of New Brunswick. On the backside of this whole system, snow. And this in purple is a flash freeze warning for Nova Scotia. You've got heavy rain, 30 to 50 millimeters of it through the overnight. And then through the day, you are going to see a dramatic drop in temperature on Thursday, going from +8 early in the day to -8 by the evening, and wind chills around -17. So all of that water likely going to freeze up. So here comes the low moving into Newfoundland through the day on Friday, finally clearing out. Another system hot on its heels as well. We could see some mixing with that next one, but it's not as significant as the one that's happening currently. Blizzard conditions in places like Miramichi and Bathurst. That's because the winds are going to be significant through the overnight hours. There's the snow for Newfoundland. As I mentioned, the heavier snow, northern peninsula and western shores, 15 to 25 centimeters of it. Let's go to Moncton, where it started off as snow. Moncton, one of the cities under the winter storm warning. Really, is this recent with those with those Christmas lights up? Okay, let's go to Nathan Coleman.
We are in Stormwatch. I'm here in Moncton, New Brunswick, where they really love Christmas. You can see behind me the Christmas lights still up on the trees, and there's been plenty of snow.
So here's the rain in green. So that's the rainfall warning we do have for the Cape Breton Highlands, 130K winds. Those will be through the overnight on Wednesday into Thursday, and then a myriad of those winter storm warnings with the blizzard warnings for, again, the northeast shores of New Brunswick, and then all the way down the shores or the coast of New Brunswick. We're looking at the potential for storm surge as well Thursday morning. There's a lot going on with this system. Look at that snow. Yeah, shovelable amounts on the high end, on the very high end, 35 centimeters, not out of the question. That warm front is the cutoff line between the warm air and the cold air. But as it pushes north behind it, that's when all that cold air funnels through. That's when we're going to see rain changing over to snow, and also the potential for the flash freeze. Never mind the side streets. So 22 centimeters there. In Thorold, just near St. Catharines, 30 centimeters of snow as well. So that's the big amount. 17 down towards Windsor, anywhere between 15 and 18 in Toronto, depending on where you were. 19 centimeters recorded in Mississauga, but weirdly, I find, Pearson Airport, 10 centimeters. But it was whipping around, and temperatures were dropping as the day went on, very cold. We've had some very stormy conditions along the eastern shores of Lake Ontario, but any warnings are beginning to drop. So the system is continuing to progress eastward. Ottawa, Montreal, you'll still be in the snow and the blowing snow through the overnight. A very cold start to the day on Thursday. Wind chill warnings in place. Let's begin with the warnings as issued by Environment Canada. Hi, I'm Kim MacDonald. Glad to have you here. We do have a lot of warnings, a lot of colors on this map. In green, you're in the warm sector, so that's all rain for you in Nova Scotia, 30 to 50 millimeters. Not that you'll only see rain with this system, because on the backside of it, it will be getting colder. We're also looking at winter storm warnings. What's not seen here up towards Miramichi and Bathurst are the blizzard warnings. And that's because not only do you have that enormous amount of snow, but you also have those extreme winds, and that will bring visibility down to nil in some cases. Anywhere from the Acadian Peninsula down to Dieppe, we're looking at the possibility of storm surge as well for your Thursday. On the high side in that white, that's the snow, 25 to 35 centimeters, potentially even 40 centimeters. Moncton's on that 15 to 25 centimeter line, so that darker blue. And a lot of these areas will see that change over back to snow because of the colder air moving in. As far as rainfall, there's a look at what we can expect, although we're thinking as much as 50 millimeters for Halifax through Thursday morning. But it's still going to linger a little bit through the day on Thursday and then start to wrap up. Then you have the rain coming to Newfoundland, so it could be heavy at times for you. In fact, much of the province will see heavy amounts of rain. It's the north shore that we could see more snow, and the western shores. We're looking at snow for Newfoundland today. Snow-covered roads in Montreal, winter storm warning in place in that city. Normal daytime highs are around 2 degrees. You're looking at a high closer to -8 on Thursday. So like everyone in southern Ontario, the temperatures are dropping and dramatically compared to what anybody saw really on Tuesday. So here goes that low pressure system through Thursday morning. You're still going to have the snow and blowing snow in Montreal and Quebec City, through the Gaspé, and all of this moving into Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI. And there's the next system. This is for the weekend, although this one's not quite as dramatic as the one that's happening now. It's still something else that you have to be prepared for. Okay, so here's our current system. That's the warm front in red. Behind it, the cold front in blue. Temperatures dropping on the backside of this. Some very gusty winds through the overnight, so that rain will be pounding down. We have wind warnings in place both in Cape Breton and adjacent areas of Newfoundland. The wreck house winds 130 kilometers per hour in the morning, 100 kilometers per hour in the afternoon. Wow, not great. On Wednesday, does that make sense? On Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, this is what happens. So everything started to freeze up. Of course, the snow's coming down, whipping around. We had significant snow totals as well. All that snow pushing east, and that's where our warnings are. Although most warnings in Ontario should be over by the overnight, with the exception of that wind chill warning. Very cold start to the day on Thursday. And that means most people will see rain rather than snow in Newfoundland. Not everyone, but a good chunk of the province seeing the rain. Here are a couple of warnings. In that darkest red, places like Miramichi and Bathurst, Kent County, that's a blizzard warning because you've got the snow coupled with some very gusty winds. Everywhere else in that peachy pink color, that's a winter storm warning. We've got lots of snow coming to places like Fredericton, for example, and then farther south into Moncton and St. John, ice pellets, freezing rain potential, and then the snow. This purple color, we don't show it a lot, but that's a flash freeze warning because it will be so mild. First of all, in Nova Scotia, you've got that rain coming down through the overnight, the winds picking up, and then you're going to see the temperatures drop on the backside of this area of low pressure. So it's going to get very cold very quickly. Daytime highs around 8 degrees early in the day, dropping to -8 by the evening, and that will cause the flash freeze. You're not going to be wanting to travel very much on Thursday, especially through New Brunswick. There's our warnings, winter storm warnings, although we do have quite a few warnings through PEI as well. And in green, that's our rainfall. In yellow, that's our wind, 130 kilometer per hour winds for the highlands of Cape Breton. And there's that big 25 to 35 centimeters right in the central areas of New Brunswick. So watch for that. Here comes the area of low pressure. If you're south of that warm front, that's all the warm air and all of the rain. North of it, that's the snow, and you're going to see a much colder day on Thursday. Where did this storm start off? Let's go to Kasia.
Spring and winter have been fighting it out this March break. Tuesday, daytime highs close to 10 degrees in some places in southern Ontario. And now, judging from the snowfall totals one day later, that's 12 centimeters of snow. Seems as though winter has won this round.
Incidentally, it was 11.8 degrees in Hamilton on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, 22 centimeters of snow. Temperatures are plummeting through the overnight, and there are widespread wind chill warnings in place as wind chills approach the -30 mark in the early morning hours of Thursday. So keep that in mind. But here are some of the snowfall totals we saw around Ontario. 30 centimeters in Thorold in the Niagara region. That's where we anticipated the heaviest amount of snow. There were winter storm warnings in place there. The winds were extreme, and the visibility was extremely poor. Okay, so most of that snow has shifted east. As we know, we're going to continue to see the blowing snow through Ottawa and Montreal in the overnight hours. High pressure settles in, and a milder day expected on Friday. It will indeed. The winds will be picking up. The rain will be coming down hard across Nova Scotia. You're in the rainfall warning in green, as much as 50 millimeters. That's on the high side, so 30 to 50. We've got winter storm warnings across much of New Brunswick. We also have a blizzard warning through the Miramichi. It's not on this particular map, but on the Miramichi, Kent County, Bathurst. And that's because you've got the combo of the snow and the very intense winds. So blizzard conditions, especially through the overnight hours, those winds will really be picking up. As far as snowfall totals are concerned, this is big, heavy snow. And if it's anything like what happened in Ontario, oh my goodness, it is the kind that you really don't love to shovel because it is so heavy. It's heavy, it's wet. So again, 25, 35 centimeters, not out of the question in the heaviest hit areas. Obviously, a lot less snow across Nova Scotia, and that's because you have so much rain coming. But on the backside of this, temperatures will be so cold that you have to be concerned about a flash freeze in Nova Scotia. So temperatures going from, say, 8 degrees in Halifax to -8. And that's during the day. That's in one day. You're going to see that dramatic drop. There are your warnings across Newfoundland, wind warnings for the Avalon Peninsula in yellow, and wind warnings for the Wreck House area. Otherwise, we're looking, and we continue to have widespread warnings across Quebec. There's our system, the warm front bringing in that warm air, the cold front ushering in the cold air behind it, and temperatures dropping. We're going to have the winds quite gusty through the overnight in places like Montreal and Ottawa, Quebec City, as well as the system continues to push eastward. The worst is over for southern Ontario, but what a day it was on the road. One of the problems was it was so very mild the day before. So Tuesday, warm, double-digit temperatures, everything melted. And then we see the temperatures drop dramatically through the day on Wednesday and everything freezes up. Snow on top of that and then ice, and you get a transport truck maybe going uphill a little bit, and all of a sudden there's jackknife tractor trailers. Okay, so here are some of the snow totals. It's as much as 30 centimeters. That was in the Niagara area. Hamilton Mountain, 22 centimeters of snow. Mississauga, 19 centimeters of snow. And now you have to watch for the cold. Thursday will be a brighter day, easier to get around, but man, will you have to bundle up. Temperatures in the -teens.